All right. Oh, wow. What a lovely faces we have here today. Okay. I'll try not to make this about myself, right? But I need to actually explain a little bit what drove me to bring this topic today to all of you. First of all, let me do a check here. How many of you are software engineers? Oh, wow. Seniors engineers. We have seniors here. All right. This talk is for you. Okay. Juniors, I got you covered, by the way. So let's imagine this. First, before we start. All the engineers maybe already faced this before. You sit on your computer and you have to maintain a code base at some point. And you open that code. You try to understand what is happening there. And you just think with yourself, who wrote this disaster? You have to understand and do some searching, go to GitLens, try to blame, and you see your name there. That moment tells us something really important, which is the topic I'm bringing today. Basically, coding is not just something we write. Actually, it's something we leave behind to other humans to understand. We just need to write it once, and the number of times people will be reading this, and the success of understanding what they are reading will depend on how much effort did you put on that first lines of code, right? I think I did it. Oh, yeah. So, as I said, I'm not just be talking about myself here, but just for the sake of the context, I came from a music production festival background, where I used to work a lot behind the curtains, producing the stagings, working with artists. I am a musician myself as well. And during these years, I could realize that actually I was kind of a bit learning how to code, not the syntax, of course, but the empathy part, in the sense of when you're developing a product, when you are working with something that you need to put your creativity into that. It's not art, but it's something that you actually need to understand that other people will be also participating on delivering this product, right? So everybody needs to be in sync. And something that happened through the years while I became a software engineer and I started mentoring in different community programs for empowering women in technology. And that's what led me to receive a few awards for the community voting and recognitions. But one thing that I see a lot happening with my juniors, my lady juniors, is when they first land their jobs, they need to actually start working on a code base, and they come to me and say, I know how to code, but I don't understand what this function is asking me to, what is happening here. And that's something really important to discuss in the sense of technical depth, right? Everyone knows a little bit how much cost this can bring, right? When you're trying to actually acknowledge the effort in trying to maintain a code base that's actually not maintainable at all. So the root of coding here is actually, I didn't put much information on this slide because actually it's more about talking about this. When we are talking about the root of coding and empathy, when I'm talking about mentoring, is related to the fact that we don't need to actually make clean code a rule book, something that will just block you from your creativity, will just make you only have to write a specific code in a specific way, but actually try to think differently when you're trying to write clean code, in the sense of you're considering the other person that's going to read and maintain your code base. Like you're writing a letter, you need to be clear on the words that you're putting, right? And in that sense, the idea here is not just to talk about the clean code, the syntax part, but considering the other people that will be working with you, where you can even call yourself a mentor without actually sitting in the side of the other person to talk and mentor that person. They are already understanding you, learning from you, learning from your code. Once they realize that whatever you wrote there, the software engineers, whatever you wrote there is clear enough for the people to maintain, right? That's interesting, because that's basically what I just said in the sense of considering what writing is versus the thousands of times people will be reading that code. In the sense also that someone will be reading your thoughts, your ideas. Developers know that I have to think syntactically in the way that the code actually is translated from my ideas to solve the problem and deliver a product, right? Even yourself in the future, when you need to maintain that code base, you try to think of how good and how maintainable this can be. And I cannot go through all this without talking about AI, without how fast the code base can be generated in one day, something that would take an entire team to work on a sprint, right? It is the time shift very fast. But maybe it's something related to not also let people get overwhelmed by the amount of rules, the amount of little details that needs to be taken, in the sense of not turning this into perfect coding, but actually having this considered as why. Explain why in your code instead of what. This way people will consider the empathy, and it is translated into syntax. This translation also translates into a better product delivered, and other people will actually be able to work along with you and maintain the code base. Nowadays, AI shifted a lot the way we see a product to be delivered. So imagine this. The AI is writing code, right? And now we have lots of people just vibe coding. People who never coded before became developers. So even one of these days, I was talking with someone that never coded before and showed me a HTML file. And I did this website with Claude. Claude coded this for me. And I tried to put this into production. And I need someone to help me maintain this. When I looked at the code, it was like a horror movie. And the person was struggling to actually share that product, put in production. And now I asked, how did you do that? Oh, yeah, Claude helped me to put this into production by setting up a server. Okay, where's the server located? I tried to share the URL. All right, send me the URL. Localhost 8080. Okay, I see what's the problem there. So, vibe ships fast, but if you not understand actually what's behind, what's happening in your code, what actually code is, maybe let's leave this for those who actually have the hard skills, right? There's something that we are talking a lot that became very common nowadays, is the spec-driven development. And that can be the main point here for all the seniors nowadays. The way we code changed. That's a fact. AI changed the way we code. We have Cursor, we have Claude, we have dozens of AIs out there now. And now we can deliver things more faster, right? Seniors were even more valued for being fast and also be able to code fast in the sense of also respecting the architecture, respecting the code base, respect the user, because given that all that context, they still have the velocity, right? Now with AI, we can have the same speed or even more faster. But the new seniority here, we rely behind being able to be the judge of the AI. When you look at the code base that was generated by the AI, you're able to understand what works, what not, and what needs to change. The senior now here, you have to be able to review more fast and also be able to learn the terms and how to work with spec-driven development. First of all, we don't want to burn all of our tokens in one single prompt, right? This is happening a lot. But also, we also want to be able to, let me go back to the topic of the empathy, the juniors, when they see code generated by AI, they get really excited, like I'm doing really fancy things here now that I never thought I was able to do, and I understand what is happening because I am a developer, I'm a junior. But there's the seniority steps in, right? They know what works and what not, and they know also, that's the new seniority in the AI times, how to direct this junior to have a best context provided to the AI, so they can also use that SDD, spec-driven development. And this way, you also work in your empathy through coding, but in a different way as well, through this prompt, through working along with the AI. So these are just the example around some seniority actions that you software engineers can take. If you don't have juniors in your team, you can think of the new hires, you can think of someone else that's just helping to solve an issue and maintaining your code base. It can be anyone, even you, when you are back from vacation and you just don't remember anything that you just wrote. But you need to know what happened there, right? So make it easy for someone else to understand, for you to understand. I could go through all the rules behind clean code, do this, but the main point here is actually talk about the empathy. And if you start understanding that you can write a code clear enough for other people to understand and maintain and reduce the technical debt and work on a better timing, also reducing the cost for maintenance, you're already good to go, I was going to say. This way is just a way of also understanding that now we are all super developers, right? And now we need to be able to, as I was saying before, work on the judgment behind that. So I put a bit keywords there in terms of readability, right? The intention of the decisions, that why you decided to name a variable that way, very simple, basic example. I talk a lot about the juniors because I'm always in contact with them through my mentorship activities as well. But no matter what, I could be talking with a room full of seniors here. We all been there. We all struggled to actually work on something that we never did before. And we all saw that code exactly could be maybe be done in a very much simpler way that wouldn't require you to put all that much effort in it, right? So that's the also importance through these days of being the AI conscious, okay? Putting all the effort here, not just to deliver fast using the AI, but also considering that the way you are writing the code is also, and should be also, the way you are teaching other people, okay? And I like this phrase, a punchline. The future doesn't belong to those who use AI, but it belongs to those who can lead it. I mean, I just read it because it is highlighting everything I just mentioning at the moment, okay? And for me, the moment that makes the difference for the juniors is not actually, oh yeah, my senior, my tech lead just sits with me and walk me through all the entire code base. Nobody has time for that, unfortunately. Some of them are actually dedicated to actually do that type of activities, and I really value that because the human connection is also very, very important, especially for someone that's just starting on the tech life. But if it's already good enough, the way that the code-based architecture was made, and I'm going to be repeating that through this talk because it will thinking through all of the developers, is when you sit down and to write your code, you start considering that. You start to consider that maybe I could prompt the AI to go through a more clean code approach, to maybe name the variables more clear. I'm a senior, I know what can work and what can cause confusion, right? And this way you are already making a huge difference for yourself, a huge impact to the team with the product and the way they're going to even work along with you. They will see you as a better senior, I'm sure of that. And just to finalize a little bit, in the terms of considering the mentorship aspect, is the time also that you put with yourself, also building the required skills and abilities to code and work along with your other teammates, are something that also not just creates an impact on the other people, but I'm sure it will also inside each one of you, because you are also building a stronger relationship with the entire team, okay? So the clean code idea here is not talk about writing the most complicated and perfect code, but maybe making sure that the other people that are going to work along with you are also be aligned with the way that you wrote. AI is here. It's a bit scary to work with people delivering new products every day and putting into production the env file with all the key tokens so to public to see. So that's the difference that we are going to make on that sense. And the importance also to consider the other developers, the next generation of developers, to be honest, will have a complete, and that's something that I really believe is going to have a complete different mindset, because we are learning guided by AI nowadays. So if all of us that already came from the times that there was no AI, if we start actually being able to be the best judge of the AI and teaching these people also to work in the good prompt, in a good way, the best way actually to work with these new generations will be talking about prompting spec-driven development, and that way you can also be linked with what's coming next. So I think that's it. I did a good time, I guess. But I really appreciate the time I took here. And it was really nice to see you all. Thank you.
Mariana, thanks for the great presentation.
I'll try to.